Too many AAA games release and end up being awful, and one of the latest failures to release was Forspoken. Critics gave it very mediocre scores, saying it had potential but was poorly executed, and users have been very vocal on social media about their problems with the title. And even though it's only been out for 5 days at this point, it is already on sale. I have a bunch of things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So a couple of days ago on launch, I had talked about the critic scores, which have actually gone down. They were sitting at a 69 to a 70, and now it's sitting at a 66, which I definitely think is too generous with the content that I have seen in this game. But the user scores are finally out, and they are very bad. As you can see, the PlayStation 5 version of the game is sitting at a 3.5 with right under 800 ratings, and the PC version is sitting at a 1.8 with 242 ratings. So people are not happy with this title, and I have seen a slew of different reasons. Performance problems, the graphics are okay, but they are not great. They are not what you would expect for a, $70 AAA brand new experience, and the dialogue in the writing is just terrible. It's like they hired the wrong people for the job. They hired writers who were trying to be comedians, but being comedians for a completely different age range that they usually are. And so the main character ends up just swearing every 5 seconds and saying things like bet, like, yeah, wow, I just did that. I'm crazy cool, and I don't need any help from anyone. It's just not very funny. It didn't really catch with anyone, it seems, and everybody doesn't like it. But funny enough, even though it did only launch a couple of days ago, it is already on sale, just proving that this game is even more of a failure than we expected. I know there were a lot of people on social media saying they were still going to give it a chance. They were still hoping it was going to be an okay experience, and if you purchase this game, I hope that you enjoy it, because it does really suck to spend $70, $60 to $70 on a game that is just terrible. But as you can see, Forspoken is discounted at Amazon already. The PS5 version of Forspoken is already seeing a $10 discount on Amazon, making this the best way to pick up the game. This is the problem with pre-ordering games and purchasing games at launch, because they do end up going on sale relatively quickly. Yes, if you are so excited for a game and you can't wait, then buy it. For me, like, I would buy Elden Ring no matter what. I would buy Hogwarts Legacy no matter what, even if I wasn't a content creator streaming these games at release. But I know a lot of the games that I play on the channel I would not touch with a 10-foot pole for months, because there's just no way that I would pay 60 to 70 bucks for them. Unfortunately, a lot of games now are just not worth it, and when I hear about a game like this that is a new IP, that is set with this, younger main character who came from New York to this fantasy world, that to me just already kind of raises red flags. Because while yes, you have this protagonist that you should be able to connect to because she was, a real person in a real world, just the way that, she reacts to these new people and this new world that she's been thrown into was just kind of cringy. And I hate the word cringy, but that is definitely the best way to describe just everything with this game. It is not worth 70 freaking dollars. But, as it says, Amazon isn't advertising an end date for the promotion, but we have a feeling the deal will sell out before the weekend is over. Be sure to swing by and check out the savings while you can. Yeah, I mean, Amazon does put things on sale for a couple of days, and you know, maybe this will not last very long. I do not see this as a game that is going to stay full price for a very long time. If the Amazon deal goes away, I think that in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we will see it permanently down by $10. And then, of course, after that, the drop will happen pretty quickly. But it's no surprise to see why it's discounted so soon. I mean, everybody is just roasting this game. Going over to the user scores and reading just a couple of user reviews, you can see very quickly on why this game is being deemed a failure already. It's got 531 negative reviews, 50 mixed, and 252 positives. And even those positives are not like 10 out of 10s and 9 out of 10s, they're like 7s to 8s. The first review here is a 2. Where do I begin with this mess of a game? Boring NPCs, cringe writing for dialogue, antagonist is absolutely unlikable, hates everyone and everything, uses the F word every 2 seconds. The graphics are bland as hell, poor choice of design to make characters static. I mean, as you can see, there are people with massive lists here. A 5. This game falls on everything we expected story-wise. It's so bad and cliche that an 8-year-old kid could have written the story. The open world is repetitive, filled with a myriad or interest points that you have to clear to get drops in stats or statues. Also, it feels very wrong on some levels. Frey is an unlikable main character. She only swears all the time, so you can easily forget about her. The only good part is the combat system, but there are so many problems around it that it needs months above months of patches to fix everything. It does seem like it is a combination of a poor direction, but also just the way that they created this game was poorly done. On the technical side of things, it just seems like they rushed it out because they were just done with it. They were like, you know what, it's good enough, we don't want to put any more time or money into it, just release it, everyone will be fine with it, and in a couple of months we'll patch it. And I think that if this game had a couple of more months to kind of cook, I think that it probably would have been rated a little bit better, because at least you wouldn't have those technical problems, and it wouldn't feel like it was an uncompleted game, but at the same time, the core story and the characters and dialogue wouldn't have changed, so I don't know how much more successful this game would have been. For me, everything has to be balanced. I don't expect perfect gameplay, perfect graphics, perfect writing. I just expect good writing, good graphics, a good story, and unfortunately, this game falls short on every level. Somebody gave it a 0. Whoa, this game is really that bad. Somehow the writers have managed to create possibly the most irritating and unlikable characters in the history of gaming, especially who is incapable of uttering a single sentence without swearing constantly. She's bitter, mean, and just horrible in every way possible. A 3. The dialogue is the worst part of the game. Frey's personality is dead. That is not how you write teen angst. The magic effects are pretty, though. The game did look like it had something going with it with the combat system. I mean, the combat system was definitely very flashy. It was interesting to me, and that is why I will give this game a chance when it's like $10. But until then, I am not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. I'm very disappointed to see, of course, another really big hyped up game release that just ended up being quite a disaster. I just want games to release, I want them to be good, and I want people to enjoy them, but unfortunately, Forspoken is another failure, and it is already discounted on Amazon, leading people to believe that this game is selling terribly. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it and found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.